Now we're going to discuss permutations. So permutations, first I'm going to give the symbol. So the symbol is going to be a little n, a big P, and a little r. So it's NPR, that's how we write a permutation. The way it's pronounced is kind of what I just said. It's NPR. Another way of saying it is sometimes people say NPIC R. The P doesn't really stand for pick, but you can think of it as standing for pick. I've also sometimes seen it written as a permutation of N and R, and those are all ways of doing it. Now the formula for that is going to be, there's a formula, so it's NPR is N factorial divided by N minus R factorial. So it's N factorial divided by N minus R factorial, and that is the formula for NPR. So for example, if I was going to say what is, let's say for example I want to know what is, get a different color here. Five, pick 3. So what's going to happen here is the 5 is the N and the 3 is the R. And so with that formula over there, so it's going to be equal to 5 factorial divided by 5 minus 3 factorial, which is going to be equal to 5 factorial over 2 factorial, which is 120 over 2, which is 60. So 5 pick 3 is 60. Now, what you might want to do is you might want to do this on your calculator. Now, different calculators, of course, do it in different ways. This calculator over here, I'm going to have to actually find it. It's above the X. Sometimes there's an NCR button. Notice that NCR is different than NPR. We're going to get to NCR eventually. However you're going to do it, if you try to do it right now, so try to find it. So 5 pick 3. And if you do it correctly, of course, the answer should be as we calculated, 60. Just to make sure you have it right, just quickly check what is 10 pick 4. And if you did that correctly, it should be, well, it would be 10 factorial over 10 minus 4 factorial, but we're not going to actually do that. We're just going to go 10 pick 4, and that's going to give us 5,040. And that's how you plug in permutations into the calculator. Of course, if you don't have a permutation button, you'll have to do it with the factorials, but that's going to get aggravating very quickly. Now, I'm going to show another way of doing it, though. Let's say we had 6 pick 2, right? So if we have 6 pick 2, what we're going to have, oops, I just lost the sheet I was going to do. That's going to be the same as 6 factorial over 6 minus 2 factorial, which is going to be the same as 6 factorial is 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. This is going to be, that's over 4 factorial, all divided by 4 factorial, which is 4, 3, 2, and 1. And if we look at that, we could see that some things cancel. So the 4's cancel. Ooh, that does not show very well. So what we could see is that the 4's cancel, the 3's cancel, the 2's cancel, and the 1's cancel. And all we're left with, if we do it like that, is 6 times 5, which is 30. So 6 pick 2 is 6 times 5. Now let's say we had 6 pick 3. That would be 6 factorial over 6 minus 3 factorial, which would be 6 factorial over 3 factorial. Blowing it up a bit, we're going to get 6 factorial is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, divided by 3, 2, 1. and then things cancel. Cancel, 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 cancel. And we're left with 6 times 5 times 4, which turns to 120, but that's not the point. So 6 pick 2 was 6 times 5. 6 pick 3 was 6 times 5 times 4. And if you went through the same type of thing, you would find out that 6 pick 4 was 6 times 5 times 4 times 3. So essentially when we're doing these things, what we're finding out is that it's the first this many terms of this factorial. So for example, if I had 13 pick 3, it's going to be the first 3, oops, over there. If I have 13 pick 3, that's going to be equal to the first 3 terms of 13 factorial. And that's going to be 13 times 12 times 11. And 13 times 12 times 11, whoops, 13 times 12 times 11 is 1716. And we could try it out, and we could say, okay, 13 pick 3 is also 1716. Right? If I, now, one consequence of that is if I had 5 pick 5, that's the first 5 terms of 5 factorial, which is going to be 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is just equal to 5 factorial. So it turns out 5 pick 5 and 5 factorial are just the same thing. And that's permutation notation.